Yeah. Yep, I am back after like a year of not uploading anything, of leaving y'all hanging, wondering where I went, like what was going on. So I gotta catch y'all up. I'm gonna be touching on what it was like transitioning from a tech school Loadmaster to an operational Loadmaster, challenges that I faced, what it was like in processing at my first duty station, and just some experiences that I have had so far. So let's get into it. I am so excited. A little quick timeline of from the beginning to now. So I joined the Air Force in June of 2019, graduated BMT in August. After that, I completed my BLM, Aircrew Fundies, SEER, Loadmaster initial qual. Once all of that was done, I then got on a flight to Germany, got stationed in Ramstein, and now I am flying here as a C-130J Loadmaster. But let's back up to about halfway through Loadmaster initial qual. So around that time frame of LIQ, I got my first message from my sponsor. She was like, hey, like we are expecting you. We are so excited for you to come to our squadron. I'm like, yes. She started asking for things like my orders, my training certificates, paperwork filling out. So I sent those things to her. So once I got all of that stuff rolling and I graduated Loadmaster initial qual in Little Rock, I then took like a 2-week break, went home, got on a plane from my home state of Georgia, took a flight to Baltimore and took a rotator to Germany. When I got to Germany, my sponsor was at the terminal, the PAX terminal. She picked me up, and guess where I went? I went to a quarantine, and I had to stay in there for 2 weeks. I thought I was going to lose my mind, okay? It was a rough time. Like, it was very rough. I was in there with another girl, shout out to her. We were just in there, just looking at the walls on our phones. Like, it was crazy. They put us in like these old like housing apartments, and I just had to stay in there and just think of what it was like to be outside. So after the 2 weeks was up, I had my first like taste of Germany. I got picked up that night by one of my coworkers. We went to the clubs in K-Town, and I was just living it up. I'm like, this is it. This is what life is about. Like, so after I party, blah, 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 the next following week, I actually go to my squadron. I meet people in the squadron. I actually Inprocess shops in person. So I tell them like, hey, this is who I am. This is where I'm from, blah, blah, blah. So I went to shops like training to get my indoctrination folder started, scheduling to start scheduling my flights, and places like Mobility, RA. I went to RA, they gave me a bunch of stuff. I got a fresh green flight suit. I got things like boots, knives, glasses, flashlight, like whatever. They were just giving it out like it's Christmas Day. So I got all of that stuff, and then things just started to slow down again. So when I got to my squadron, we usually get 30 days to Inprocess on base and within the squadron. So I had to do FTAC because I am a first term airman. So that took about that was like a week long that I had to sit and listen to different agencies and talk to different airmen around base. That was pretty cool. What else did I do? I had to in-process my CAC. I had to go to the post office, get that set up. I had to go to literally everywhere on base. I had to in-process with. So that took a minute. That took a hot minute to do. And with COVID going on, it was even more difficult, especially because like people were working from at home. You couldn't contact people, but it is what it is. I got it done. After I completed all of my in-processing, I went back to my squadron and they're like, okay, like you're ready to fly. You're ready to fly. So I had my first flight with an instructor. So it was about like 8 to 10 flights where I had to do flights such as personnel drops. So to get my P code removed so that I can be qualified to drop paratroopers out the aircraft. I had to do airland missions with like cargo. I had to do locals. Like there's a whole training jacket that you have to do to become an actual like qualified Loadmaster. So once I got that done, like I had finally graduated like the Loadmaster school. So once all of the indoctrination was complete, I then started flying by myself, doing missions by myself. And it was really scary, especially like in the beginning, because for me, like during that time, I just lacked like confidence and I would sort of lean on my instructors too much. So when they threw me out the nest, like I really had to learn like how to blossom and how to figure things out and how to work with my crew to be like, hey, like, I don't know like what to do, but I'll like, let's get in the pubs and figure out how we can make this happen. But it's been nice. I've been on some really cool missions. We do a lot of like flying training deployments here, so I've got the opportunity to train in places like Greece. We've also partnered with Poland. We're about to do something in Spain. We also do them in Bulgaria, and Georgia, Morocco. Like there's so many opportunities to get experience, and especially like non-standard stuff. When you go to FTDs, that's when you really get to see like what load mastering is about. So yeah, that's cool. What else have I supported? I've supported like OAR, like making sure that the refugees made it to safer locations within Europe and the United States. I've also supported missions with like the British. I've done French missions. I've partnered with Belgian people. Like you get to see like so many cool people. It is an amazing job. Like I think I made a great decision to take the step to become a Loadmaster. Although there are a few challenges that I faced, like I was talking about earlier, I struggled with confidence and I just struggled with finding how I benefited, like where I fit into the mission. Like me being an introvert, it was very hard for me to get out of my bubble, and I'm still am, but I just had to find out like how I could be myself but still have authority in the back of the plane, still be able to make sure that the mission gets complete. And I think with me being a Loadmaster, it has helped me to develop into a stronger and more confident woman, and I am very thankful. Like I've always like seen myself to like come out of my shell, and I think that this job has helped me to do that. And if you are somebody watching and you feel like you're not alpha enough, you're not like the ideal Loadmaster, like you can do it too. Like if I'm doing it, you can do it. You just have to find your voice and your way of doing things. That's my best advice. Other challenges I've had, nothing really. I mean, being a female Loadmaster can be a little bit weird, especially when you're traveling to different countries where they don't view women the same as places like the US or the UK. But I just have to learn to just deal with the punches, like take the punches. Like I've been to places where they don't even acknowledge me. Like they'd rather talk to a male figure, which is fine. But when that first happened to me, I was sort of like discouraged, or like I felt like something was wrong with me. But then I had to take a step back and be like, there are different cultures and I just have to accept that. But I am a Loadmaster. It doesn't matter if I'm a female, if I'm a different color, you know, like my job is to load the back of the aircraft. And I've just had to learn that I have power. Like I own the back of the aircraft, so no matter what other people think or if they want to acknowledge me or not, you have to listen to me, because my job is to make sure that that aircraft gets to the next destination safely, or those people get to that destination safely. So yeah, it's really cool. I've got to drop Belgian people out the aircraft. I've got to drop Greek people. Like we do a lot of partnerships with different forces, you know. The experience at Ramstein as a young Loadmaster, I feel has opened my eyes to like everything. Like I've got to see a little bit of everything, from being in Africa, like that's more non-standard, to being in Europe, that's more like airland pallets. Sometimes I deal with vehicles, you know, so it's just like every day is different, and I love it. I absolutely do. With that being said, when I first got here, the tempo was slow, but once the COVID restrictions started lifting, that's when the ball really started to roll. Like I remember flying like 50 hours a month or more, just fulfilling missions. And it can be exhausting, but you have to make sure that you balance how much you fly with your personal time. Make sure that you take personal time off that they give to you, because if not, you will lose yourself or you will be drained. So I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I did find myself like, I am just tired of being on the road. But I'm more of a person where if you need me to fill a mission, fill a line, like just put me on it. But you just need to know your limits on it and know like when too much is too much and if you're doing too little. So for me, like I've always been like, whatever you need, I will do. And there have been like a few times where I've been like, no, I can't due to appointments, but I always try to do my job, which is to fly, you know. So I'm very thankful. And so far, I've been to over 35 countries. So I've been to places, I'm not gonna name like all of them, but I've had the chance to go to places like Senegal, Angola, Estonia, Egypt, Greece, Spain, the UK. Like you get like a touch of everything like here, like you never know. So I am very appreciative. Like even though some of the days are long, because we are slow, it takes us a minute. But since we are so slow and our duty days run out, sometimes we get the chance to stay off station somewhere and spend the night. And I'm always grateful for those moments. Like, I've been to Italy with off stations, Turkey, Greece. Like, it's amazing being here, even though it is busy. Like, there's a lot of, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. As a enlisted aviator, you're going to get additional pay. So I get flight pay, I get hazardous pay. Sometimes, depending on where I go, I get tax-free, and we also get per diem. So for example, if we were to go to Greece, I'm just throwing like random numbers. If we spend the night there, the per diem might be $100 a day. So every day you're making that, and as long as you like stay under that amount, like you really could pocket money. Sometimes the money isn't all that, but it is beneficial to have that type of income coming, sort of rewarding in a way. But I'll go more into detail about that in a different video. So I'll touch a little bit on how I've come to balance my personal life with work. It's still something that I struggle with, especially like I can be gone, like I'm usually going like half of the month or more, and probably like 300 days out of the year I am on a plane somewhere doing the mission. So is there really time? No. But do I make time? Yes. So when I have time to do stuff, I just started doing college classes, so that's the way that I am developing myself. I also do gym when I have time. I'll go to the gym, run. I also, like, I'm an old lady, so I'll crochet, I'll braid my hair, do whatever that I like to do. I think a lot of times people get so caught up in the mission that they forget about themselves, and that was hard for me in the beginning. But then I'm like, in order to do my job right, like I have to put myself first so that I can give 100%. You know? A few pros and cons of being a operational load that I have seen is traveling. Like, you're gonna travel to get your flight hours up. That is always good. The money is good. Meeting new people is one of the advantages for me, and just the experiences that I've got to see. So like, I've been to Venice, like I get to go to Athens, like on the Air Force's dollar. Like, you can't, it doesn't get better than that, you know. Cons: being away from home a lot, being away from my family, and just the unpredictability of being a flyer. But hey, that is my job. This is what I signed up for. But like, I've missed funerals, like I've missed like people's birthdays, I've missed like important events, holidays. But like, it is what it is, you know. But that's just a con. But you usually get that time back. As far as being a young load, like I said before, confidence was one of the things that I lacked in. But I've been doing pretty good. I did have a moment where I was low, but like once I regained my confidence, like I'm on the right track. Like, they are looking at me to become an instructor here soon, which is awesome. I am excited, and it's really been a journey. Like, it's been a good one. It's like a hills and valleys, but I am very appreciative, and I love the people that I work with. I love the atmosphere, and I love the missions that I get to do. A few fears that I had about becoming operational was, one, the relationship between the officers and the enlisted. But I have learned that the way that like the relationship that aviators have versus like any other AFSCs, it's different. Like I can walk into the workplace, I mean it's still professional, but it's more like a family vibe. Like it's like when we're on a crew, like it's sort of like first name, like hey John, hey Joe, hey Joshua. Like it's more like loose. Like usually when you see an officer, like you're like tense and scared, but like I joke around with my pilots and officers all the time. So I don't know, it's a different world. It's just something that I've come to not be afraid of so much. Like these people are the same, like they are human too, although they get paid way more. Anyways, but yeah, so I'm not really scared of pilots like I thought that I would be. Since we fly as crews, like we have to be able to work together. So if they're more approachable, then it's easier for us to work through problems and just have a better time as a crew, because you don't want drama. You also get to fly with a lot of different levels or ages of experience. So I've flown with like birds, I've flown with people younger than me, I've flown with like staff sergeants, techs, chiefs, I've flown with lieutenant colonels to butter bars. Like you never know what type of crew you're going to get and the experience level. So sometimes it's interesting. I usually prefer the younger ones because they like to, you know, like partying, but like sometimes like the older people are with it too, you know. So yeah, but overall I'd say that my experience transitioning to operation, well, from tech school to operational has been pretty smooth. Every day is different, and I've just learned to just roll with what's being thrown at me and just keep a positive mindset through it all, and to just stay in my own lane, know that my progression will be different from the people surrounding me, and that I bring value to the Loadmaster world, I guess. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching this video.